Hello and welcome back to Maff UK and welcome to Cleabarrow in the Lake District. Yes, last week I was fishing on Rotherheath and this week I'm on Cleabarrow and I'm doing an overnighter too. It was a bleeding soggy start. I'll show you some calamities that I had getting going. It was an awful push because of the mud and silt, but I'm up fishing now and welcome. I was putting my bait out. I brought my bait boat with me and I'm really glad I did, and the reason I'm saying that is because there's a tree here which is really bent over. I didn't have my bait boat with me, I couldn't have fished this peg. The reason I chose this peg, I didn't see any fish. There were people already set up and right between the islands, perfect spot. I'll show you in a minute where I am, where I'm fishing. I've nicked a little bit of ground as well whilst I'm here. There's no one else fishing, so I've pushed my left hand rod right out to the far end of the other island, and my other rod is in the middle of the between the two islands over here. Like I say, I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, the first thing that happened was I ended up pressing the wrong button on the bait, still can't talk with his teeth, with my bait boat, and I ended up dropping my entire load about 6 feet out. Duh. And secondly, the chap who was fishing over there in the far distance and myself decided the same spot was the place where we wanted to fish. And of course, when I went round and said hello, asked them where they were fishing, made sure that I wasn't casting over anybody, yada yada yada, a bit of common courtesy, and unfortunately I'd crossed over his lines, and when he reeled in he brought my lines with him, so I thought he had a run, but I didn't. I actually crossed over the other chap's lines. A total accident. It was just one of those things. Like I said, I went and spoke to everybody, made sure that I was all right, but it just happens, doesn't it? But all amicable. Nobody was moaning, nobody was upset. All adults here. Yeah, so yeah, I've dropped all my bait in the wrong place, and then my right hand rod got pulled in. Not a great start, but a start. So now everything's all sorted. I'll show you the baits and that in a bit, what I'm using. I'm using runny rigs, stiff rigs, and 2 different types of bait. I've prepared a load of maize and some particles whilst I was at home over the last few days. I think I did it on Wednesday night, so it's had a bit of time to ferment as well, a couple of days fermenting. Looks really good actually, quite happy with it. The maize has gone really soft, which is perfect. Yeah, I've also fishing with some pellets, and I do have some boilies with me if I need them. I'm not being shy with the bait this weekend. They are hungry fish in here. There's a lot of fish in here. Let's hope I get one. I have been told over the last 24 hours there was a 20 came out on the edge of the island where I'm fishing, and in between the islands where my other rod is, there was an 18 came out last night. They've done a lot of work. The pegs have been worked on recently, and we got these little I'll show you later, the little areas. Not a lot of room for a 2-man bivvy, but just about fit mine on, just. Yeah, it's I quite like it here, I do. I think this is the only second time I've fished it. I've got a brew going, just good to be out again. I said I was going to do a lot more. You like me top? Carpy top? Weather forecast for the next 24 hours isn't too good. Rain coming this afternoon, showery tomorrow, so it's not going to be ideal, but at the end of the day, I don't care, I'm not bothered about that. It's a Lake District, it's what happens here. So yeah, all good. Let's have a look at some bait. So here's my bait. It is a French mix, and that's a French mix particles with oats and all sorts of bits and bobs in there, and some maize that I prepared myself. So all looking good, quite happy with that. Like I say, it's been made since Wednesday night. Have a quick look around to the lake. Lovely little water, really nice. So as you can see, the bivvy just about fits on that peg, just about. I can show you how boggy it is. Now, I guess you're supposed to come the other way, but there literally is a stream running right past the peg. And the way you get to this peg is via that route there. And you can just about see my barrel in the distance. And there's a back gate over there. So when I pack up at the end of the session, I'm going that way, not back up the hill. So I'll walk up and get the car and bring it down. There is a little bit of hill behind us. It's not very long, it's not very big. I mean, the total distance from the car is probably 150 meters at most, so it's not a big push, it's just a boggy one. But yeah, I've done a lot of work. Duck boards everywhere. Not too bad here. You can see the cars in the distance, to be fair, so it's not like too far. But yeah, it's quite a boggy way to get through. It's quite a difficult push, really. But I'm not complaining. It's not a complaint. It's just a fact. So it's time to relax, have me brew, and chill out. Wellies are definitely in order. It's gone 1 o'clock now. Not a lot happening, which is a shame, really. The weather's turned in again. It's started to rain and really be drizzly again. It did say it was going to. But yeah, a bit disappointed. I would have expected a bite or something by now, but nope, nothing. One thing I've noticed about having the dwarf rods is that I think they're brilliant. I think the rods are brilliant. But your landing net still the same size. And I know, and here we go again, and I know they do a dwarf landing net which extends also. And then you've got your dilemma with your spod rod, your marker rod. So it's great having the two little rods for places like this. But if you was to go the whole hog, yeah, you're spending a lot of money, aren't you? It's good having the two rods which can pack down really well. But then, if you haven't got your marker rod and your spod rod and your net, which doesn't pack down very tight, then sort of defeats the object, doesn't it? So you rush out and you buy these things, and if you don't think about it properly. I'm not regretting buying them, don't get me wrong. I'm not regretting buying them because I really think they're good. The rods are great. Reels I'm not sure about yet. I don't know about them. But then there are other factors which, like your net and your marker and your spud rods. So I know they do them, but I'm not buying them. Absolutely not. Oh, some silverfish messing around over where my baits are. Good. Yeah, so I'm not convinced yet. So after a few hours of getting nothing, no knocks, no nothing, I've decided to change over to a chod. Now you can't use leaders here, but you can use tubing. So I've just gone to tubing instead. So there we go, a little choddy. There we go. PVA's popped up, so I know that the bait's presented okay. Happy with that. There we go. One choddy. Let's see how that performs. Got nothing to lose. I'm not putting the back lead on it. You just know, don't you, if it's gonna go, if it's gonna rip off, it's gonna do it while it's pouring down. You just know. This cold rain isn't gonna help matters at all. Could do without it really, but there you go. Could also do without that hole in the bivvy as well. Only a small one, but I didn't know it was there until I put the bivvy up today. But there you go. Looks like the meaties have got hold of it. So yeah, this rain, this really cold rain, will certainly not help the temperature of the lake, that's for sure. So what I've done now then is I've gone over to a chod on my left hand rod. Nothing to lose by trying that. A little bit further off the ground, so let's just give it a go. Let's just see. Like I say, I've got nothing to lose. I'm quite happy giving it a try. Rain's coming down. This bivvy that I'm in, if you're wondering why it's such a odd colour behind me, so you've got these white panels, it's a Euro bivvy. It's the JRC ST1. It's an old bivvy. My normal bivvy, my two-man bivvy, wouldn't fit on here, but because this is the old shape, you know, like a pram hood style, then as for a two-man bivvy, I don't know how they would class this as a two-man bivvy. It's just enough room for me and all my gear, to be honest, but I do like a bit of room. It's definitely going to be me on this lake tonight. It's looking at the time now, I don't think we're going to get anybody coming on now, so I definitely have the place to myself. Last time I was here I had a few little carp, so I was quite happy. I did alright actually. Now you know very well at this moment in time, my left hand rod is now a choddy. My right hand rod has remained the same. I haven't moved that. It's a yellow pop-up on top of maize. More than happy just to leave that there right now. Whether I bring that in later this evening, I don't know. I may just leave it. There's nothing wrong with just leaving it. But who knows? I don't know. If I get fidgety and want to do something, then I may bring it in, change the baits over, put a fresh bait on, and away I go. But that's not necessarily going to happen. I know I've got enough bait out there. I'm more than happy with the amount of bait that I put out first of all. So there's no need for me just to pile it in there right at this time of year. It's as long as there's enough out there, that's the main thing. So clearly, with the weather being what it is, nice and sunny this evening, actually quite a lovely evening, I decided to rebait up that between the islands there. I got nothing to lose by doing it. There's quite a bit of bait over that spot now. The wind did die down a little bit for about 10-15 minutes and everything just became really calm and quiet. There is a quarter moon this evening, so it's going to be quite dark as well. Clear skies at the moment. Let's hope it stays that way. If I'm going to get a bite, let's hope it's going to be now. Pop-ups will stand out more now than any time, apart from first light as well. So that high visibility pop-ups will stand out more right now than they will during the day or at night. Now's the check, just at dusk. So let's hope it could kick off any minute. So I've got a fish on at the moment, but I can't do nothing with it because it's snagged up. So what I've done is I've just let loose, just put the rod down, loosened off the clutch, and hopefully it'll sort itself out. I'll have to have a quick check in a minute, see if I've got it, but yeah, very disappointing. Got the run I needed, or got the run I wanted, but snagged me up straight away. Bugger. I couldn't feel any resistance on the rod at all. There was no pulling back. So I think the fish had actually got off, snagged me up and got off. So, hey ho, had to pull for a break, unfortunately. The fish isn't tethered and caught up there. It's just not there. There's nobody else here. I'm still completely on my own. So while the sun is shining at the moment, I'm just going to pop the drone up and have a look round. There's nothing in the rules to say I can't, but if there's nobody here, it shouldn't make any difference. I'm not disturbing anybody. So here's the state of play. I've lost one, so I've put my baits back out there. Now, instead of going right between the islands, I've just come a little bit back this way because on a day like today, I'd be surprised if more than one other fisherman turns up, and one fisherman's turned up over there, and straight away you cast over between the gap in the islands. So, which is fair enough. So I'm glad I brought it back this way a little bit, because probably that was a better thing to do. Now on the left-hand rod, where my choddy was, again that was on the end of the island, but not in my water. And the onslaught of other people coming, I've decided to bring it into my water. So all my rods now are fishing in my water. I'm not extending anywhere else or being somewhere where I shouldn't be, just in case other people turn up, because I didn't want to bait up again and then suddenly someone wants to come and fish that spot, which they're entitled to. So that's the state of play. I've moved my rods into my water. Now my left-hand rod is in shallow water, very shallow water. It's a bit of a gamble, but I'm just working on the principle that if the sun does shine, fish may go into the shallows, catch the sun, do a bit of sunbathing. I don't know. I mean, probably I can see the bait, and it's probably 2.5 foot down, so it's not deep. It's not deep water at all, but there's nothing to say that the fish won't go into it. So let's just hope that works. It's if they go around the island anyway, then that's a natural point for them to come out before they go around that piece of timber, the old tree that's sticking up. So logically, it makes sense. Whether it works or not, that's a different kettle of fish. Excuse the pun. So yeah, that's the script. It's Sunday morning. I'm going to be here pretty much all the day anyway, so I'm in no rush to go anywhere. That's the whole point of doing it this way, to get more hours in. So yeah, let's just see how it goes. I did get the drone up, had a little bit of a fly around, just had a little bit look at the lake and had a look at my baits. The shallow bait really stood out because it would, and you could also see the bait where I've put it in the middle between the islands as well. So all the other stuff that I put in has gone. So something's eating it, hence why I had the run this morning. I'm really disappointed with that, really disappointed. By the time I got my boots on and jumped out and got here, it snagged me up. Now look at that for a little bait boat. I like that. I do like that. Get it back on its return journey, eh? Here she comes. It beats mine. That big clumbersome thing. That's ideal for here. If you heard that bell then, you might not have done. It's the golf course. I've been hearing it all weekend, and I couldn't figure out what it was. It sounds like a train bell, you know, ding, 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 ding. But apparently it's to do with the golf course, to say there's a hole ready, or there's a hole free for someone to move on. So that's what I've been hearing. So yeah, well, I'm not giving up yet. I don't know, I could try the margins down here in front of me. I don't know. Like, the trouble is I can't cast because of that bloody tree. So if I do cast, it's going to be out to the right, into the middle, maybe. I could try just middle fiddle. Just plop one right out there for a couple hours. Might try that in a minute. Who knows? At least I'll be able to cast to it. Put a PVA bag on with some pellets. Keep the same bait on. Just plop it in the middle for a couple hours. Nothing to lose. Trouble is, every time I go that way, bait boat. Every time I go that way, bait boat. Well, I can't fish that way without a bait boat, and that's not really my water. If somebody comes into one of those pegs over there, then I have to reel in again. So it's not somewhere I want to bait up. So it would be fishing for bites, really. Just a small PVA bag, or mesh bag. Sorry, just a small mesh bag, and that's pretty much all I can do there. So I've clipped up. So that one is very, very tight to the bank. You can just see the PVA pop up now, which I put in. See if we can zoom into that. Come on, where are you? There you go. That's just popped up. So I am close. I'm about 2 to 3 foot off the bank, far end. Paul said that's where the aerator is, so let's just give it a go there for an hour or two. There. I'll happily take the one out of the shallows over there, but I'm not taking the one out between the islands. That wouldn't make any sense to me. That's probably a really good chance of catching the fish, and especially that I had a run off that earlier as well. So that would be madness to take it off there, but to go from there over to there, there's no drama in that. I don't see any issues with that at all. I clipped up. The rod's got over there easy enough. I was quite surprised about that, but the clutch slipped on the reel. So as I was casting, you could hear it slip, and it wasn't fully tightened up, but it wasn't far off, just one click. So that's one thing I'm gonna have to get used to with those reels, making sure that they are fully locked down. Just one click away means that the clutch will slip. So yeah, I'm learning with them reels, still learning. Haven't played a fish yet, unfortunately, but that will be the proof, won't it? That'll tell me whether they're actually any good or not. Can't see any reason why. Well, my time is fastly approaching. It's now 2 o'clock. I've probably got 2.5 hours left of fishing to do. I've had that rod over to the right hand side there for a couple hours now. Not even a liner, so between me and the bait, nothing's come through. I've had my eye on that rod all the time and nothing's happened. So I'm now going to move it just a little bit more round towards the other island, but about 3/4 the way across. That's what I'm going to do. The weather's a bit hit and miss. It's been raining, it's even hailstoned, so that doesn't help the temperature of the water, does it? So that keeps it down. So anyway, I'm just going to keep fishing for bites. I've got another PVA bag. I'm just going to pop that 3/4 the way across towards the island. I'm going to leave it at that for the next couple hours, and that'll be it. That'll be the last time. I'm still not going to move the one in the island. Between the two islands, I think that's fine where it is. But yeah, I'm just going to move the other one now across a little bit more towards it.
Ah, lovely.
So you can see my PVA's popped up there. It's moving to the right slightly. So that's where I am, just left of that actually. It's just moved more in line with the bivvy in the distance. So the bait's more in line with that bivvy, but about 3/4 the way across. That's it now. This is my last effort. I'm not casting in again. This is my last cast. Maintaining the left rod. Just move that to another location. Last chance. Well, it's looking very much like a blank. Looks like my only chance for a fish was this morning, and I got me snagged up. So never mind, not to worry. Look forward to a couple of weeks from now when we're in Rotherheath. Paul, hopefully, might get some results at long last. But until the meantime, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Yes, I am quite annoyed, because you usually catch it, but to be fair, nobody has today. I'm not just the only one. See you later. Bye-bye. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Yes! It might only be a small fish, but it's the fish I wanted.
Fish is the fish.
And I am well chuffed with that. Well chuffed.